Welcome to Cyber Materials Ask Me Anything Cyber, a fun, interactive weekly event for everything cybersecurity. Join us every week at noon Eastern Time for a high-energy, quick-hit recap of the week's biggest cyber stories, from data breaches and threat intel to major legal updates. Whether it's a high-profile hack, a new APT on the rise, or a must-attend summit, we've got it covered. But that's not all. We'll also break down the latest job market trends, share our thoughts on cyber stocks, and give you actionable insights to stay ahead. And of course, we wrap things up with what makes this show special: live Q&A with you. Have a question about a breach? Want to know how a threat works? Curious about getting started in cyber? Let us know and we'll answer it live. Without further ado, let's get this event started.
Hi everyone, welcome to Ask Me Anything Cyber. Hi Prapti, how are you?
Hi, I'm excited to talk to you today about your amazing Diana initiative.
Yes, and we have a huge lineup of volunteers and representative of the Diana Initiative that is going to talk about their upcoming conference on May 30th. So let's welcome all of the volunteers from the Diana Initiative. Let's see. There you are. Hi everyone,
Everyone.
how are you?
Hello.
How is it going? So today we have a lot of representative from the Diana Initiative, and I'm happy that you get to talk about this amazing event that is coming up on May 30th. So this year it's special because it's gonna be online, right? So Nicole, you want to start like how is it gonna be and where people can learn more about the event?
Sure. So this year, because Hacker Summer Camp is just getting way too busy for us to really be able to give everyone the best experience possible, we pivoted to online. We are going to have a main track, and you can find out, how to get tickets and whatnot by going to dianainitiative.org. If you spell initiative wrong, don't worry, go to a search engine, type it in, it'll figure it out. I always spell it wrong, and I've been at this for multiple years. So
Mm-hmm.
dianainitiative.org, and then click on it. You'll be able to see more about the event. You'll be able to grab tickets. The tickets are $5, or if you want to go with a friend, it's 2 for $5. There's a 2-for-1 deal. And also, if you're a student or somebody unemployed and you want to email the reg team, we can also just get you codes. In fact, there was a school in San Francisco that just emailed us for their cyber club, and we gave them all tickets.
That's very nice. And what are you most excited about this year's lineup? What are we expecting?
Oh God, all the activities. So there's the Capture the Flag competition geared for newbies. So if you have not done one before, please do sign up. The sign up link is again on the website if you go there. And then we've got an IR workshop. We've got the Career Village, which Kat can talk more about, which is super interactive. So not only is there cool speakers to go learn things from, but there is interactive activities. And at the end of the day, we're going to be doing some like hallway track socializing, because we're trying to bring the feel of getting to chat with people that a in-person event has and bring that to the online event.
That sounds
Yeah,
great.
and I would like to know about the speakers or topics that, we're going to cover or we're going to see.
So we literally just sent out acceptances, so we don't have confirmations yet, but there is a variety of talks, fingers crossed that they accept. We've got ones about honeypots. We've got going from playing in a CTF to actually being a pen tester, like that career path. We've got building an incident response framework. We've got, how do I describe this one succinctly? Testing an API for the business logic using agents,
Yeah.
and just their journey. And the interesting part of that is they're going to go over like mistakes that they made, so they can save you hopefully all of those mistakes yourself. So there's a whole bunch of different talks, plus Career Village is going to have an assortment of talks as well. I don't know if those are slated yet, but there will be things both for the red team, blue team, and professional development.
That's amazing. And I know that, like this is gonna be like online and sometimes it can feel like a little bit, like quiet or passive. So what are other things that are gonna be like integrating the whole conference together?
I guess Erin can talk a little bit more about this, but during COVID, we did this. We basically have hype people in our chat. So there's specific volunteers who are meant to go in and start like egging people on in a friendly way in the chat for the talk. And this way that when you see somebody else doing something, you're more inclined to do it as well. And so that tends to get the ball rolling in the chat.
And I can also mention that in the Career Village, it definitely won't be dull. We will be having lots of discussions going on. We've got talks throughout the day and we'll be doing mock interviews and resume reviews and all of that. So it'll be just as interactive as if you were there.
That's amazing. And Prapti, I know you want to ask like a little bit about their CTF or something.
Yeah.
Because that's my area, so I don't want to, because I know.
Yeah.
Right.
I was actually very happy to hear that the event is going to have resume reviews because I think a lot of people will look forward to that. And we've interviewed a lot of people over time, and CTF is always one of the things that people write in their resumes. So, beyond CTF, can you tell us about the incident response workshop and what kind of real world scenarios are you planning to simulate?
So I'm keeping it under wraps for now, but the first 10 people who show up to that room are going to participate in a fake incident response, meaning they're going to go through all the steps. They're going to get something suspicious and they're going to go through the process of investigating that. And then they're going to have to go through the process of like keeping it from spreading and doing like investigation and recovery. So you're going to walk through all of the steps. It'll be mostly theoretical and talking with like a couple examples, but it's obviously hard to have very expensive tools that enterprises have, so we can't necessarily do that, but we do have a couple cool things we want everyone to play with. But it's mostly to take people who maybe have not had a chance to participate in an incident at work and actually go through an entire, think of it as a Dungeons and Dragons session where you're collectively telling the story together of how you go from finding this problem at your workplace, which is going to be a medical office, to containing it and recovering.
And what about will attendees step into the role of an IR analyst during the session? Like, will they be able to like actually step into the role, experience it during all of these sessions?
Like I said, we don't have Splunk or licenses for any of that, unless Splunk is listening to this and wants to give us some licenses. That would be cool. But all the participants will literally be the ones. I don't know if you've ever played Dungeons and Dragons or any other tabletop, but the person running the workshop is going to explain like, hey, you just got this, and this is not the example, but I'm going to give this as an example. You just got this interesting email from one of your employees. What do you think? And then everyone will discuss that together. So as a participant, you'll be talking out loud and as if you're in the office talking with your coworkers. So you will be participating, but it'll mostly be like through chat, like verbal chat and text chat. And then you're going to get little pieces of information, whether that's fake images, little video clips, as you walk through this situation and scenario.
That's really fun because I mean you get to sort of have like some work experience, I can say, and it's gonna help those who are like newbies in cyber to get like an overview of what is expected from them when they step into an incident response role, right? So if you like, are they gonna get like certificates for participating at the workshop or like overall conference?
I don't know if they're going to do specific certificates for the workshop. I can ask that. Maybe we can put that in the notes later from the team. For the event itself, we usually send an automated email to everyone that shows up to the event. I know some people for your school or other things need a little bit more. And so if you do, definitely email info@dianainitiative.org and we can work that out because we know that some schools and other things, you need that to prove that you attended it to get credit.
And beside these like main activities, is there any like hallway activities where people can network and like meet each other and have meaningful connections?
So we're going to have breaks, and obviously during the breaks everyone can chit chat in the chat, but at the end of the day we have specific time set aside for both birds of a feather as well as last time we did an online event, we used Drawosaurus. I haven't decided if we're using Drawosaurus again. If anyone has any suggestions for free online games, let me know. but we will break into little groups and do just online games in our Discord to bring everyone into our Discord, which is year round, but also just to give everyone that opportunity to like talk about like what was fun that day and like decompress. And sometimes you just need to tell everyone everything in your head to solidify it.
Yeah, and we've had like you and some people of the Diana Initiative before, and also Sophie is a volunteer in the Diana Initiative, and I know that it's a lot about inclusivity. So I would like to know, how does that show up during this event?
So by being an online event, we're actually more inclusive than we usually are.
Yeah.
In that anyone, anywhere can attend as long as you're willing to maybe wake up early or stay up late. In general, we have a amazing code of conduct team, and they make sure that people are being nice to one another. Otherwise, you get warned. We also are cross-promoting this with our partner organizations, which if you look at our website, we've got a whole bunch of partner organizations, which tend to be, groups similar to us, like Women's Cyber Jitsu and things. And so we're curating the people we're inviting, although the entire internet is invited, but we're specifically trying to draw in from our friends. We're also policing the chat and also from the content that we're picking. And if you've ever been to Cat Career Village, she keeps it both lively and just covering the entire breadth of any job you might have in cybersecurity.
We're going to have some live demos and activities in the Career Village too that we're working on setting up. We will have to limit how many people can participate in it at a time. So we're working out the details here. But I'm hoping that will also pull in some more, hey, something exciting and hands-on that you can actually do.
That's great. And this is my question, like for Kat, because you're gonna be in the Career Village. We know that like mentorship is gonna be like a big part of also the Diana Initiative conference. So what type of mentors are we gonna have, or what the attendees can expect as a mentorship program?
So we have speaker mentors for our speakers, which is one of our like formal programs. So any speaker who requested it can get one. And then outside of that, if you're in our community right now, we have opened our Hacker Summer Camp scholarship, I think we're calling it this year, where 10 people are going to get $1,000 and a ticket to DEF CON. And those people will specifically get a mentor as well to enable them to make the most of the opportunity. And I know there's like mini career mentoring if you want to talk about Kat.
Yeah. We will have, during the resume reviews, we're going to be having the people that are doing the reviews are also, some of them will be hiring managers, but a lot of them are mentors at their companies. I'm pulling in a whole bunch of folks from WESIS Chicago. They're going to be helping out with this. So we're anticipating just a lot of interaction in the Career Village. If you've ever been to ours, especially in person, it is very, very lively and very interactive, and we just keep things moving along. And the mentorship is one of the things that we really like to focus on.
And from the comments in prior years, go ahead, Erin.
Yep. Oh, no, I wasn't saying anything. Go ahead. Yes.
From the comments in prior years, you're not just getting a resume review. Like sometimes you go in and somebody's like, this is poorly worded, et cetera, et cetera. You actually get, Kat curates amazing people. They actually say like, this is the type of thing you want to express because you're interested in this. So you're getting almost like mentorship about how to present yourself for your chosen career path, because that is half of it, is being able to present yourself, but also show the evidence.
And we'll be doing some home lab exercises as well, because home labs are a big part of getting experience on your resume, and that's going to be part of the focus of the day.
That's very good. And this question may be for Erin, because she's a volunteer coordinator here. If somebody wants to volunteer to help during the conference, is like any like opportunity open or for the future?
Oh yeah, so we're not doing an official call for volunteers for the digital event that may happen a little bit later as we get closer to Hacker Summer Camp. I would say right now, the best way to go and navigate that, if you want to get involved in the digital event, is to go to the website and go to the volunteer section. And there's just a very short Google form you can fill out, and I am actively looking at those. And then we're going to add those people to our Discord, and they will receive alerts, about what's going on with the digital event, and anything that is any events that are happening moving forward.
That's
And
great.
I think like over Discord, can attendees connect with the mentors directly, or is there any other way that the mentors, can connect with the attendees?
So for our formal mentorship programs, it's usually like either direct pairing through email or like in the Career Village itself. Uh, we have not done the second half of the year program yet, but we may do another round of mentorship pairings. And usually we tend to do that through email, not the Discord. The Discord, we tend to do like little workshops or presentations, just because Discord can be very noisy. And for mentorship, it's a lot better to have a more focused environment.
Yeah. And one thing, like, because we're wrapping up about the conference, if you want to like come up with a favorite moment from a past like event that you had that you wanted to replicate for this year's conference, what would it be? It's
I would
okay.
say, I think having Jen Easterly as one of the keynotes formerly
Oh,
from CISA
yeah.
was a really big deal, and was a really great talk. This was a few years back.
So I have a very interesting view of conferences. Anyone who runs a conference will probably relate to me. When you're running the conference, you see it completely differently than the attendees. Like I
Hmm.
see everything is on fire and
Yeah.
everything is going wrong, and put out every single one of those fires I can. And so at the end of the day, what any volunteer at any conference really appreciates is when you say what a great time you had and how everything went well, because that meant we put out all the fires in a way that you never noticed. And so I guess
Yeah.
the years where we as volunteers get to just take a breath and sit and not do anything for
And
5 minutes
enjoy it.
and actually
Yeah.
enjoy the conference, to me is amazing, and I hope that happens this year. There's a lot less to go wrong when you can't have fire alarms going off because you're not in a
Yeah.
physical location. So that I again, if you're an attendee, this is probably a very weird thought for you, but if you've ever run a big event, you get it.
The
But
only
that's
thing
okay.
the,
Yeah.
the only thing I'm going to miss though is I won't get my steps in for the day.
That's true, right?
For anyone
Well,
who has never done a conference, if you play Pokemon Go, like turn on your egg hatching, you will get so many steps and so many eggs.
that's that's fine. Okay, so I really loved like this conversation because my last question, and this is just to wrap up everything. Can you share like a success story from someone that participated at the Diana Initiative and now they became like like a volunteer or a mentor or even like a high profile individual?
I
I
don't
I
can.
have
selfishly
names.
can. I selfishly can. I can volunteer.
Okay.
I started volunteering at the Diana Initiative in 2020 when we had our first digital event because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I was not in cybersecurity at all. I was actually a nightclub manager, and
Okay.
I didn't have a job because COVID,
COVID.
right? So it was a really inclusive space. I was really hesitant, a bit nervous to talk to people because I felt very much out of my element.
Yeah.
And I made a lot of contacts, learned a lot about the industry. We eventually had an in-person conference. Today I have a senior role. I've been a pen tester for 5 years or so.
Wow.
So, you can learn a lot, and if you open yourself up to that at the conference, it can be really invaluable.
That's an amazing story. And I wish that sometimes we can create some cards online, like talking about like these Diana Initiative stories to sort of like
If anyone has them, please email, because literally, like, that's what we like to put in our
we
sponsor
can do
kit.
that. We can put a Google Doc and everybody can share their own experience and maybe we can create these small stories, right?
Yeah,
And because every story is very valuable for those who are not into cyber and they want to just to find a community where they can grow and become their future selves. And I'm thank you for sharing, Erin.
and I don't have specific people, but I know every single year in our feedback form and just people coming up to me at the event, people come up to me and say, because of the career village, I was able to get a promotion, or I was able to
Oh,
actually
nice.
pivot to the job that I wanted, or because I learned things from these speakers and networked, those
Mm-hmm.
people then became my mentors. And
Nice.
there's just constantly these stories of people finding their people, finding a mentor, or getting a job because of our event, which is the reason why we do this. And so for anybody who doesn't know, this is a year-round thing. Like,
Wow.
all of us volunteer year-round, and so we do it because of people telling us that it was successful. So if any event, I don't care if it's TDI or another event, if it helped you find a mentor, get a job, anything else, let them know, because that is why everyone puts in all those volunteer hours. Nobody's getting paid.
I can't
That's great.
mention names, but one person, because we had a couple of hiring managers in the Career Village
Mm-hmm.
last year, and one person specifically ended up doing an interview, and then they got called in for more interviews, and they ended up getting hired at that company. And one other that we did a complete rewrite of their resume because it just didn't focus on what their skills were. And about 6 weeks later, they emailed me and said they got the job they wanted. So those are the kinds of things that
Yes.
just,
Those are things like that makes you believe in, like, keep volunteering, keep pushing. And that's great. And I love that we get to know all these stories.
Mhm.
And maybe next year we can have like some tracks to talk about, like, success stories, so everybody can get more like motivated and see that the change is possible, right? So we need some like hope out there.
Yeah,
I
and
don't.
it was really nice to like know all of these success stories and support from the community. So for like one last time, where should people go right now to register?
DianaInitiative.org. That will get you to the website. You can get your ticket. You can register for the Capture the Flag competition. You can sign up for our newsletter, all of the important things. Follow us on the socials. If you go to the website, all of those are there. So DianaInitiative.org. And if there's anything wrong with the website, please email info@DianaInitiative.org and we will fix it. I promise.
as we
So
get,
everybody, yeah.
we'll have signups for resume reviews and mentoring and et
Uh-huh.
cetera for the Career Village.
Okay, that's great. So anybody that scans the QR code, it will take you to Eventbrite to get your tickets. And after that, you get an email with all the details on how to join the conference, when, how, and all the tracks and activities, workshops, CTF, and everything. So thank you so
Warning, the
much.
email looks like spam. Like, it looks sketchy. I promise it's real.
That's okay. So thank you everybody for tuning today. Thank you, Nicole, Kat, and Erin, and of course my co-host Prapti. And I'm really happy to be part of the Diana Initiative and pushing the boundaries for all of us that may not feel like we belong to cybersecurity, but we do, because we always say this, that when we have diverse voices, we have a lot of good things happening out of those new things that we do and we bring. And thank you for making this happen. Thank you, Erin, for sharing your story. I can't wait to hear more stories about this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye bye. So that was Nicole, Erin, and Kat talking about the Diana Initiative. Wonderful people behind the scenes of this conference that is happening on May 30th. So anybody that wants to get a ticket, they should go to dianainitiative.org and they will be able to grab your tickets. Right now is 2 for 1 if you want to bring a friend. And Nicole also mentioned that if you are a student, you can also reach out to them for a free ticket. But just consider that this is also like a small fee to pay to access a lot of resources, a lot of great people, and an amazing community that helps them bring more resources for other members in the community. So, looking forward to seeing you all at the conference, right? Prapti, are we going to be joining them?
Yeah, it's actually very nice. I really like the 2 for 1 deal. I think that's gonna help a lot of students, especially. And
Mhm.
then the resume reviews and the workshops, they sound really fun. I really hope that this event is extremely successful.
Yes, it will. And we wish you all the best. And I can't wait for this to happen. So, for our next segment that we always like try to, bring
Yeah.
something special, we do have the Know Your Enemy, right?
Yeah, I'm excited to know about the Know Your Enemy. And I actually don't know what it's about, so I'm kind of excited to hear you explain all about it. So before we jump into that, let's just watch a quick video of what it's about.
Every cyber attack has a face, from malware and scams to the actors behind them. Know your enemy. Stay one step ahead.
Yeah. So I would really like to know. I can see that it says gold pickaxe. So, Sophie, I would really like you to explain what we are going to be talking about today.
Yeah. So for today's Know Your Enemy, as we always try to bring you the threats or the threat actors or new malwares that are behind like regulars like users that they are affected by cyber attacks. So we're gonna highlight something that it's rather like we can say it's a new mobile malware campaign that it just really started gaining traction by the end of 2024. And what make it different this time is not that it's going after your password, it's going after your identity. So what does this mean? It's gonna attack your persona. It's gonna try to clone your fingerprinting, your eyes, your whole identity, scanned ID, and everything. So it's not only after your credentials, it's after your identity, which is like very hard to change, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And remember when we had done that event where we talked about all of these new innovations and they were about scanning fingers. And
Yes.
I think now that with all of these new type of threat actors and threats, it's going to be difficult to
Yeah.
secure that.
So gold pickaxe, in real cases, they have been some real like victims in Southeast Asia, and
Wow.
the attackers they were impersonating banks or even government services, and they send messages, text messages to users asking to install a verification app to
Mm-hmm.
access the bank. So it looks legitimate, but once they install this app, they start asking for documents like your ID, driver license, or ADGAR card, or depending on which
Wow.
country you are, is going to ask for legit documents. So basically, you are like giving away your whole persona to these
Yeah.
attackers. And in some cases, they are recording the face scanning. If you are using a face scan mobile phone base, they are recording your face for face identification. Now, at that point, the attackers they not only have your login information, they
Yeah.
also can impersonate your identity to pass banking verification checks and authorize transactions. So this is not like an account takeover. We can call it this is an identity takeover.
Yeah. And
So
there must be a few banks that have already, been affected by this, and stopping this might be difficult.
yeah, and even those like we know that these campaigns they start in specific regions that we've seen them in Southeast Asia. The model is completely reusable. So anywhere
Uh-huh.
that relies on like mobile banking or face ID can be a potential victim. So even though it hasn't reached North America, we need to be warned about these scams because they mutate and they like upgrade their skills
Yeah.
to get a more and more victims. And so one of the things like what you should do if you're a user or a victim or you may like feel like you were like scammed by them, if you ever receive a text message to install an app from a link or to upload your ID or do a face cam outside of a trusted app, think about it because it may have been
Mhm.
gold picked behind it. So that's a red flag. Now, because these threats, they're not going to steal your passwords or steal
Yeah.
only your money, it's going to steal your identity as well. And those are the things that we cannot change. You can change a password, but you can change who you
Yeah.
are. You can change your face. You can change your fingerprints. You can change
Yep.
your like IDs, because once those are things that are not that easy to change, and we know
Yep.
this.
And
So
like to the people here in Southeast Asia, and especially the seniors who are often
yeah.
scammed, I love to say them one advice is that just if something's that important, they'll show up at your doorstep. So best not to click on any emergency links that is sent to you on your phone.
Yeah. So, and if you feel like they're asking too much information, like
Hmm.
upload your documents, I scan your face and do everything, and it's not your actual bank, those are the red flags that you should look out for.
Hmm. Yeah, this
So that
is
was today.
actually
Know your
alarming.
enemy.
Yeah, and very
Yeah.
alarming if you
Yeah.
look at it. And thank you, Sophie, for sharing and breaking this down because I didn't know about this, and I will be able to now make some people aware about this and hopefully save some people from getting scammed out there. Now, I think there is another thing that we should be talking about today. It is about the Echo Party.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think there is a discount, 15% discount. So all you have to do is scan about it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're new in cybersecurity, and this is to all our viewers watching us, or just curious about what's happening behind the scenes, you would not want to miss this. Echo Party is coming to Miami, and we even had a guest a few weeks ago to talk about it. It was a very interesting conversation. I was here, I talked to him, he was very welcoming. And so I can tell you by already that conversation that this is not going to be a typical conference. It is where real world threats would meet cutting edge research and hands on insight, and everything will come together. And I'm pretty sure the people would be very welcoming. So if you ever want to experience it, now is the time. There is a 15% discount, like I mentioned. All you have to do is scan the QR code. So if you're serious about staying ahead in this space of cybersecurity, learning, and doing something for this community, then this is the place to be.
Yeah, and the Diana Initiative, they're gonna have a village too. So if you want to also visit them at Echo Party, you are welcome to join and get to know more about the Diana Initiative there as well. So if you're in Florida and or Miami and you want to join, please step by their booth and talk to them. So I know that we always like talk about what happened throughout the week.
Hmm.
So, we picked the best headlines of the week, I could say, right?
Yeah, and we are going to be talking about the cyber briefing and breaking down the headlines with you. But before we do that, I think there's a quick video of knowing what it's about.
A new cyber briefing is here. Same essential insights, now with sharper headlines and a much better flow. Get the latest on the threat landscape, incidents, and the real-world impact with executive risk and cybernomics trends. Stay informed on new policies, numbers, and the latest moves for your career in cyber. Whether you're on LinkedIn, Medium, or our new home on Substack, get the briefing that keeps you 2 steps ahead. Check out the refreshed edition and subscribe today.
So for today headlines, we selected some cool ones because part of like knowing your enemy is also
Hmm.
knowing the alerts, right? What should
Yeah.
you look out for? So if you work in cybersecurity and you're a cybersecurity professional, this threat concerns you. It's about the gentleman ransomware as a service group. So this is a new group that is moving very fast this year, and it's a ransomware operation. And I know the name gentleman looks like very
Yeah.
professional, but I can say there's nothing polite about it.
Yeah, it
Because
sounds like a movie.
yeah, because we are looking here at the ransomware as a service, or what is called a RAS model. That
Hmm.
means that this is a core group that they build tools, and they have affiliates that they are basically, I could say, freelancers of the cybercrime world, and they are the ones carrying out the attacks. So this model really works for them because they started last year in 2025. and they already claim hundreds of victims. And they just researched in 2026 as the most active ransomware operations
Wow.
globally. So, what makes it different than other ransomware organizations that we've seen in the past is not just the way they scale, is how they operate.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because this ransomware as a service is cross-platform. And this
Yeah.
worrisome because we've seen ransomware gangs that they focus on one specific operating system, which is maybe like we're not just talking about Windows anymore. They're hitting Windows, Linux, and VMware environments. So this is like a whole like upscale operation, and this is not like an endpoint risk, it's an infrastructure risk because they're going
Yeah.
after VPNs, firewalls, and everything that is internet facing systems. So anything that is exposed can be attacked by the gentleman ransomware as a service. And once they are in, they really move fast. They've been cases where they fully encrypt the network, and also people they sort of underestimate this because they operate as a business. It's not a loner or is
Okay.
an experienced group. It's a whole operation where they are selling the platform for other cyber criminals to use.
Wow.
If there's one take from this is that researchers they have found that over 1,500 compromised organizations were tied to the gentleman ransomware as a service infrastructure, and this is not a ransomware group as we've seen in the past. It's a model that scales, and that's what it's making it dangerous.
Yeah, and actually, one of the first things I noticed as soon as the image popped up was that how there's Windows, Linux, VMware, Mac OS, so it's multi-platform. So
Yeah.
it is very alarming, and I'm really happy that we are getting to educate people about it through this platform. And
Mhm.
coming up next, actually, another thing that is sounds like it's light, but it's not. It's the lovable AI app builder API flaw. So what
Yeah.
happened?
So I know everybody has been talking about vibe coding, right?
Hmm.
So for those who don't know what Lovable is, it's an AI platform that I know it sounds lovable, right?
Yeah.
It lets you build apps and websites just by describing what you want. There's no real code required.
Okay.
So this is what is called vibe coding. So people are like, I wanted this, I want that, and the
Yeah.
software just sort of builds your application. But we know that, like simplicity comes with a lot of security compromise. So we know
Yeah.
convenience is not the best friend of security.
Yeah.
And what happened here is some researchers they found an API flaw that it wasn't like some complex or nation state exploit, it was a design issue. So it means that
Wow.
there was no hacking required, there was no malware, no phishing, it was just access. So what happened is that there was a flaw on their API where other users were able to see the application code, the AI chat histories, and in some cases, customers' data tied to those apps, all from a regular account. So there wasn't like someone breaking into Lovable, it was just a flaw on their API. So it
Wow.
unintentionally they were exposing data from their users. Now, this API flaw only applies for those who build applications in November 2025 and before. Those who were building after December and they were using a different integration of their API integration, it doesn't affect. But those who have built applications with Lovable November and before. So if you happen to create an application, please go and update because they have released a new patch so you
Okay.
can fix this, I can say, plain text that everybody was able to read.
Yeah, I'm glad that they have patched it as well, and I think that this type of alert is going to be helpful for people, because I think there's a lot of developers out there who do use this, and it's pretty convenient. So they might not
Hmm.
be technical enough to understand what's happening. And
Yeah.
coming
Because
up
I
next,
always talk about like, I
yeah,
mean, a lot of people are like vibe coding, I can say,
yeah.
but they don't consider like security as part of like the integration of the app. So
Yeah, I think security would not be their vibe because they're vibe coding. They just want the
yeah,
convenience out of it.
yeah.
But yeah, let's hope that the platforms like this become more secure in the future and people are more aware about all of these issues concerning these platforms.
Yeah.
Then we have the massive SIM farm. Is it a SIM farm network exposed?
Sim, yes.
Is it? Okay, so
Hmm.
what happened there?
So this is something that I can say it sounds almost like low tech, but it's one of the most dangerous infrastructures that the
Mhm.
analysts and researchers have seen recently. We are talking about a SIM farm network. So, what it is about, for those who don't know, a SIM farm network, it's exactly what it means, a farm of SIM cards. So, we are talking about
Yeah.
a room full of phones that literally, I can say, racks and racks of phones with 4G and 5G modems, and sometimes it could go up to the hundreds, thousands, I can say. And they are all connected to real mobile carrier networks. And now this is what gets interesting here. Those SIM farm networks, they were not just pinpoint to one specific location. They found 94 physical SIM farm locations. It was not only one, it was 94 across 17 countries with 87 exposed control panels running the infrastructure. So was like a whole operation involving 17 countries. So
Wow.
remember we were talking about the SMS scams or the bot
Yes.
farms or like defamation online. So all these sim net like farms that we've seen, they are linked to cyber crimes like scams,
Okay.
defamation, bots, and all these like operations that we see at a massive scale. Like
Yeah.
sometimes people are saying, hey, I posted something online and then I got a swarm of like comments on my
Uh-huh.
post, and I don't know where it's coming from. Well, it's coming from these networks like
Wow.
farms of SIM cards like that are spread around like 17 countries. And when we talk about like this platform, the researchers, they gave them a name. It was Proxy Smart.
Okay.
And not like, let's just say like it's AWS for fraud. So
Oh,
you're basically buying a little bit of their infrastructure so you can do your thing. So, and they had this operation running throughout a lot of like physical places. And now, what lets you do this Proxy Smart platform? They let you control thousands of devices remotely. They
okay.
rotate the IP addresses instantly so you don't get blocked by social media accounts or like websites. And it sell you like real access to mobile connections. So if you needed a mobile phone, you were able to go to Proxy Smart and purchase access, like you will buy a server on AWS. Now, all through like everything a web panel. So, and when we talk about like why it matters, because these were not fake IP addresses. These
Yeah.
were not like VPN or proxies or whatever. It was real physical devices
Yeah.
that you were actually accessing. So it was like beyond like more like complex, I can say. And they were
Yeah.
like real mobile carrier IP addresses. So it's not like fake IP addresses from mobile carriers that people were able to spoof. They were actually legitimate accounts, legitimate career services providing this service. So it was like a real persons, but it was a whole operation.
Yeah.
And the thing is like they were able to blend just as any user, so they passed for like legit accounts. And at that point I can say like detection is becoming a whole different problem.
Yeah. And that was, I think, the three headlines for today. And some of them sounded like really welcoming, but they were not. And the
No.
last one, I think, is a major one. And those were the three headlines that we picked for this week. But if you want to stay ahead, you can definitely scan the QR code, join our cyber briefing, because there is a refreshed version of it. I think now we cover the latest threats, and it's really fast, very compact. There's real world awareness, there's actionable insights for you, there's sector trends and visibility, there's, I think, policy and legal updates that you can check. And I think one of the most valuable part is the career relevance section, where you could see how it connects to the industry demand with skill gaps and education opportunities. So you can find all of that in all in one format, and it could be delivered straight to your inbox. I really enjoyed the refreshed version of the cyber briefing, Sophie. So, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's still the same information, the still same like content that we put out, but we sort of broke it down in more pieces. So before we had like alerts, and now we have like threats, which are more like sophisticated
Yeah.
attacks. And then we have like incident and real world impact, where we can see from
Hmm.
huge data breaches or huge crypto exchanges that have been compromised. And then we have one that is very important, which is executive risk. And
Uh
those
huh.
are like pointing to specific profiles. Like, for example, if you are a CSO or a CEO, or you're running a company and you don't have cybersecurity team, I can say you can read this
Yeah.
section to stay aware of what is happening out there as an executive, what should look out for. And that's one of the things that we just included, but the rest is still the same. And we are happy to have 15,000 subscribers on our newsletter on LinkedIn. And of course, Substack just reached 7,000 subscribers as well. So it looks like people are getting
Yeah.
their news right into their inbox, as we promised.
Yeah. It's very nice to see the refreshed version, and I'm looking forward. I think that executive section is also very good, and it's going to help, because I don't think a lot of people have like a specific cybersecurity team guiding them all the time. So they can
Mhm.
read it, stay aware. So all you have to do is scan the QR code. It starts from anybody who is not a cybersecurity professional to somebody who is at a high level of getting, affected by this. You can all subscribe to it and have everything delivered straight to your inbox. And finally, I would like to talk about what this event today was about, the Diana Initiative. It is obviously
Mhm.
the online event, and you can obviously get your tickets. You already know that they are only $5, and you can support them in any way. And there is a two-in-one deal. But I think there's an event coming up. Sophie, would you like to
Mhm.
talk about that?
Yeah, next week we're gonna have the CEO of Bolster AI. He's gonna be talking about their technology and how they are protecting the internet at scale. And I'm happy to hear about what they're like cooking there and see how they are implementing AI to actually protect real companies out there with their technology.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the conversation and see how people can protect the internet at scale, because internet is huge, and I would like to see what strategies are being used now to protect people who are new to the internet, or elders, seniors, everybody uses it. So
Yep.
looking forward to that conversation. Thank you,
So
Sophie, so much for inviting me and having me
thank
here
you.
today.
Thank you, Prapti, for joining us today. And everybody that wants to stay in touch with us, you can always contact us through LinkedIn. We are happy to have conversations with anybody. So if you also want to be part of the show, you can also reach out and see if we can squeeze you in our tight schedule, because we do have a lot of scheduled events up to June. So that's an amazing thing that we're having now.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining, everybody. And from next time around, we are very happy to have anybody in the audience as our guest. Just make sure that you reach out to us. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for our next Ask Me Anything Cyber, a fun, interactive weekly event for everything cybersecurity. Join us every week at noon Eastern Time for another high-energy recap of the week's biggest cyber stories, from data breaches and threat intel to major legal updates. Whether it's a high-profile hack, a new APT on the rise, or a must-attend summit, we've got it covered. But that's not all. We'll also break down the latest job market trends, share our thoughts on cyber stocks, and give you actionable insights to stay ahead. And of course, we wrap things up with what makes this show special, live Q&A with you. Have a question about a breach? Want to know how a threat works? Curious about getting started in cyber? Let us know and we'll answer it live. See you next week.